Hey guys, this is Cindy with EZC Productions, and here's my footage for today. Today is January 24th, 2018, and I'm trying to get some image and footage for you guys. With EZC Productions, welcome to my channel. As promised, I'm out here, and today's January 24th, 2018, giving daily updates on the Rattlesnake Ridge out of Yakima and Union Gap, Washington. So before I start, I want to say thank you very much to the subscribers and to people who are concerned with what's going on here. We really appreciate your comments and your questions. We are getting a lot of questions, so bear with us. We'll try to get to them and answer them as fast as we can. We can either go in there and answer, or we'll refer you to a previous video. Feel free to go through and look at our previous videos from the beginning. Okay, and I do want to remind people that this is my EZC Productions channel, and this is my point of view as to what's going on. At times I will put down, I will report quotes and statements that were given from the press conference, and I will also include news reports. Okay, so what I do is I come out here daily and I record from the same area or take pictures for you guys and for me and for my geologist. So I do have someone who's on board with me, looking at this information, helping us understand it better. Okay, and this is all volunteer process. We don't have contracts with anybody. It's just ourselves presenting this information. So again, thank you very much to everyone who comes by. All right, so today will be just a short clip, and then we're including a clip for my geologist. All right, so today the weather is cloudy. It's cold, but I think we're staying in the 30s, maybe 40s, almost, yeah, about 40s. At this time, the slide it's staying about the same. It's moving 1.6 to 1.7 feet per week. We have a lot of agencies looking at this, and the Laura Valley emergency team is reminding people to prepare just in case. Okay, these next few days I'm going to talk about the exit closures if they were to close I-82. Okay, so thank you very much for everybody who's coming by. I'm going to add a short clip of the ridge for you, for me, and for my geologist. Thank you very much, and this is Cindy with EZC Productions.
Good day, everyone. Thanks again for stopping by. I'm going to take some time to discuss, since it's a hot topic of late, I want to take some time to discuss some of the rock mechanics that may or may not be involved here in terms of the slow rate of descent, if you will, of the Rattlesnake Ridge slide. As we look at just stability of rock in general, I think it's necessary to consider the factors that control the shear strength of the discontinuities within each of the separate blocks that may or may not be in there. Why shear strength, you might add. I think if we can agree that the compressive stresses and tensional stresses, compression being at the top, tension in the middle, won't be the driving force of this particular slide, then I think we'll agree that, and I think it's pretty clear that the tension, shear stress is the main driving force here, and that's what we're going to concentrate on a little bit today. So with that in mind, let's go back a little bit. All rock masses contain discontinuities. Now, what are discontinuities? Good question. Discontinuities are fractures, joints, faults. You see bedding over here. These are all discontinuities. This is a great example from London, by the way. Great example of just an array. Now, to this extent, is that's what's going on underneath Rattlesnake Ridge? Probably not. But I just wanted to give an example, in its broadest form of what these things look like. Yes, these are obviously more weathered, and more wide open, but nevertheless, I think you get the idea. And in our previous videos, we've discussed the scarps. That would be, faults would be another discontinuity. Incidental, nevertheless, but they are discontinuities. So just want to gear you into what I'm talking about. But before we discuss the shear strength, let's consider for a moment the stress that's being put on the slide, and basically what got us here today. We'll bring up a whole picture of the slide. Now this particular slide, and most at an angle like this, are they're being subjected to normal, as I'm pointing here, normal stress up and down, kind of like a toothpick through this thing. So normal stress this way, normal stress underneath of it, and of course the shear stress created by the gravity going this way along the potential failure planes, both up here and down on the western side. And these two stresses are basically what's causing the displacement of the rock as we speak. So, make no mistake about it, though. The shear stress is increasing and will continue until the peak shear strength is reached in this case. And as a sidebar, if you're doing research on this material on your own, a lot of the terms I'm throwing out are certainly applied to soils, and with that in mind, stress levels in soils, if you're reading or looking at stress levels in soils, they're certainly, they're generally speaking, they're order of magnitude lower than those in rock. Since, of course, the cohesive strength in soils is the result of the adhesion of the soil particles themselves. In rock, however, the cohesion is occurring when the cemented surfaces are sheared. It's a big difference. Therefore, if we examine the shear strength of the rock, we need to consider the cohesive strength of the sheared surfaces. And of course, the friction angle, which in this case is pretty much similar to the angle of repose for the pieces of rock that have yet to be sheared. Let's see if we have a. Yes, we use this example before, and I think with the friction, with a basic friction angle established, the basic cohesive strength of this rock mass certainly lies in the roughness of the discontinuities, and this is a great example, somewhat of an extreme one, but I think it drives the point home pretty good, because I think if these surfaces, of all the surfaces beneath this slide were smooth, I think we'd be probably looking at pictures of cleanup by this point. But, and I think we'll all agree that, a natural discontinuity in nature. I think you've all driven by and seen outcrops and quarries and whatnot. And you very rarely see jagged edges, you see nicks, you see those type of things, which are generally not, certainly not as smooth as soil. So with that in mind, if we have a multitude of rough surfaces, it'd be safe to assume that the surface roughness increases the shear strength, obviously, and the rock surface of all the rock surfaces involved. And this strength increases, and that's basically maintaining the stability of the Rattlesnake Ridge at the moment. Another good example. We got over here just a picture taken of a rock fall on the 19th, I believe, and we can see, as we reported and predicted, and this looks to be true, that there's one section here that, yes, these are discontinuities, and probably will be one of the first to go. This is, as we demonstrated before, the southwest area was experiencing a great deal of stress and is one of the resisting forces right now. So just wanted to show you that picture just to kind of emphasize that the stress, even from the 19th, about 4 or 5 days ago, is happening. Now, granted, we're not going to get pictures every day, but I just wanted to emphasize that. This is kind of explains what, and what these little, just to review real quick, what these little circled areas are, or asperities is what we call them in this field. And basically and I think this is a great example, this very well might be what's going on down there, where certain rock surfaces are touching and others are open. But when these particular surfaces, let's say for example, softer soils start to cover these particular asperities, I'm sure you'll agree that the shear strength of this particular ridge will be reduced greatly. To what extent the soil is, we don't know. We'll find out. But as you can see, mobilized asperities, yes, that is kind of what I'm thinking might go down here. So with that in mind, I think we'll leave it at there, and we'll investigate this as we go on. But I just wanted to give a little short explanation as to perhaps the reason for this slow descent of this particular landslide. So thank you all so much again for watching, and we'll see you all again real soon.